Bangladesh's interim government led by Muhammad Yunus is under increasing pressure at home and abroad. Following a highly criticized trip to the United Kingdom, Yunus recently returned to Dhaka to face growing opposition, worsening governance conditions and continued delayed in the election process. Take a look.
As Bangladesh grapples with political uncertainty, Interim Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus returned this week from what many are calling a disastrous visit to the United Kingdom. The trip, aimed at garnering international support and financial cooperation to address alleged corruption by the previous administration, ended without any tangible success. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer declined to meet Yunus, signalling diplomatic disengagement. This snub was compounded by scenes of chaos outside the Dorchester Hotel in London, where Yunus was greeted by large-scale protests led by British Bangladeshis.
Today, Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus of the interim government came to London, and when he arrived at his hotel, the Dorchester, at 7:30 in the morning, there were more than 1,000 protesters who were comprising from all different walks of life from the Bangladeshi diaspora here in the UK, including Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, atheists, members of the third gender, the LGBT community. So everybody in one voice, they raised the secularism demand regardless of their color, creed or religion, and everybody was very angry and very furious.
Back in Dhaka, criticism of the interim administration continues to grow. Yunus' government, formed in the wake of Sheikh Hasina's departure, has been accused of failing to maintain law and order and reneging on its promises of fair and inclusive elections. Moreover, human rights groups have flagged increasing cases of unlawful detentions, suppression of press freedoms, and worsening conditions for women and minorities.
His administration has clearly failed to not only maintain law and order, they have backtracked on the promise to create the very free and fair, inclusive elections in Bangladesh. That date has been slipping. The situation on women's safety, children and minorities has deteriorated, and the country has really plummeted in those instances. Unlawful arrests of journalists. It is also reported almost 100 MPs from the previous government are now in custody on fake or bogus cases, which appears not to have gone through due process when they were arrested.
Further complicating matters, Yunus has now alienated even his initial political supporters. The hardline Jamaat-e-Islami and the newly formed National Citizen Party, both of whom backed the original plan to hold elections in April, have accused him of political bias. Their anger comes after Yunus and the opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party reportedly reached a preliminary deal to move elections forward to February, prompting accusations of partisanship and betrayal. As Bangladesh slips deeper into political turmoil, the international community watches with growing concern. What began as a promise of reform has turned into a cloud of confusion, delayed elections, and mounting civil unrest. With institutions weakened and public trust eroding by the day, the path forward remains uncertain. For millions of Bangladeshis at home and abroad, the question now is not just when democracy will return, but if it ever truly will.